What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the No Cap Space. Tyler here holding it down, and we got a friend of No Cap Space. One of the OGs friends of No Cap Space, and now we get to add to it because I don't think you've been on here fully since
No,
the
I
summer.
haven't. No, I haven't.
WNBA champion Jaylyn Sherrod. Does that still sound good? Like, is that still like?
It's
Is that ever gonna
crazy.
get old?
It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. I still people ask. That's my number one response. It's just crazy. The whole week was crazy. The whole season in itself was crazy. So
Yeah,
I can't complain at all.
I fully believe it. I mean, like we got a little bit of taste. I know we tapped in with you like directly after, like kind of in the aftermath of it, but we didn't get too fully. And so first off, congratulations all over again. You've been around this offseason too. We're gonna talk about this bracket. We're gonna talk about some myth busting a little bit from a player perspective. But how's your offseason been? AU overseas, like break it down for us. Where you been? How have you liked it?
Yeah. So went to China. That was an experience in itself.
I believe it.
Totally different. Wasn't expecting it. But it was an experience. You have to go explore things to know what it is you like, what it is you don't like. So, China was cool for the most part. But I had to get up out of there. And so, went to AU, which was a great experience. More so, like, not even just for the basketball connections and the relationships that I made there. Got to play with Izzy, who is now going to be my teammate in New York. So it was just cool. And Nashville in itself in the city, but AU, 10 out of 10. I don't know. I'm just being from the South, being from Bama, like I'm just used to people, and not to say like Nashville isn't. I don't know. I'm just not all.
Man, New York changed you already, Jaylyn. You see this?
Apparently,
you already to be on the East Coast, and you already changed.
I know.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. Even it looked lit, like the AU, like the crowds and everything. Like Nashville showed up, like in a cool way. Like the energy was dope to see, like even just from like the broadcast perspective and everything. But Jaylyn, it's fully March Madness time, and I mean, is it weird now, like being like at this part of the year and not like getting ready for the tournament, like as this is your first time, after it.
Some people have that like lingering effect. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie, like it's times where I miss it and I miss like everything about college basketball. But for me, it's kind of like I don't know. I left Colorado fully feeling as if I did what I came to do. So I don't really like. It's not to say I don't miss it, but at the same time, I have relationships that last a lifetime. Like I talk to JR still to this day, like almost once or twice a week. I know they got WBIT coming up tomorrow, so I still watch them, pull for them, and so it doesn't. Yeah, it wasn't too bad of a transition. I can't lie.
I mean, winning the championship probably helps that too. It probably helps it. Probably helps it too. But Jaylyn, you have a very obviously unique perspective than just as a player that has been through this, and we've had a lot of talking points. We've had several episodes now, like these bracket breakdowns with various media people and also some other like former players and whatnot. And there's been a lot of kind of like similarities of like talking points. And I'm interested. I just kind of want to get your opinion, generally speaking, from a player that has been through a tournament, has gone through conference tournaments, and then gone into the March Madness. Like, I got a couple questions for you that I'm genuinely interested in. Like, how legit? Like, are we putting too much stock, or is there some things we're not putting enough stock in? And
gotcha.
So to kind of get this myth busting rolling, one of the things that we've been talking about, I mean, I think one of the teams in general is Notre Dame, right? And there's a couple kind of aspects to Notre Dame that I want to ask you about. Obviously, the kind of down the stretch part for Notre Dame has not been what they had wanted. I think it's like 3 losses or 2 losses in the last 3 losses in the last 5 or something like that. You go out early in the ACC tournament. For you, from your perspective, you're a player and your team, when you got to be playing your best basketball, like it's win or go home now, and you're struggling like this. What is kind of like the I guess the energy in the locker room, and like what are you needing in that way? Because I mean, we heard Hannah Hidalgo in the post game where she was kind of like, yeah, like it's not it right now. Like we are not where we are mentally, and like it's kind of from a media perspective, we don't normally hear that. Like, you know, like that's normally kept inside. I mean, we might hear some rumors or anything, but to say it out really like that, that's different. So from a player perspective, like, is that players' responsibility to kind of like lock back in? Is that the coaches? Like, what is kind of like, you know, the split of, and what are you hoping to see, you know, if you're like a Notre Dame fan trying to get your team back on track? What are you hoping is going on?
Oh, I guess the way it works. I think a unique situation because they are led by somebody that I don't think we realize is a sophomore. For one, she's a sophomore, and two, not to say that Olivia Miles is your senior leader, obviously, but Olivia Miles didn't play in the tournament last year. So you're asking it. I think it's just a lot that you're asking to come together.
Yeah.
And everybody has to play their roles. And I think with that team, you have when they're consistent, they're great. And when everybody's playing their role and everybody's hitting is amazing basketball to watch, honestly. And I think they just have to get back to that. I don't think it's nothing to really trip about because, like I said, you have a senior leader in Olivia Miles who is great in herself. And then you also have leader and scorer and all around at, you know, the smallest player on the court half the time.
Yeah.
Who on her worst day, her effort is able to match, you know, what might be lacking in the stat department. So I think it's more for them an effort piece. I've never looked at Notre Dame and was like, oh, they put up these amazing stats and they do this. I mean, the flash assists and they can score. But when their effort is unmatched, because when I look at Hannah Hidalgo as a player who really played with a lot of energy and passion, I knew like I don't have to, and she's a better scorer than I was, let alone. So it's like I knew I didn't have to put up 20 to 30 for us to win. I just had to go play hard and do the little things, and we would be set up for success. So I think it's more so that, because like I said, when I look at Notre Dame, I look at like the scoring and the stats and all. That's a plus, but when their effort is there, it's unmatched.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I'm also interested. So like, as you mentioned, like we know Notre Dame like at their best. I mean, we saw it in the non-con. That, you know, they beat USC, they beat like they go and they see it, like they prove it. Like, you know, we've seen it. Does that almost make it like more frustrating in a way, like when you know like you've like when what you can be at your best and then you have these lows, or is it almost like, hey, we know we're better than this and like we just need to get back to it? Is that more of like a help or a hurt when you're kind of in a situation like that?
Honestly, in my personal opinion, Notre Dame got a little comfortable. And when you get comfortable and you got that target on your back, it's easy to lose sight. Like it's human and basketball in general. It's easier to compete and it's easier to play at a certain level when you're trying to get to where somebody else is.
Yeah.
But when you're that top dog and ain't nothing in front of you because everybody else is behind you, it's hard to look at, like, it's hard to keep focus on what the main thing is. So I think for Notre Dame, honestly, they got to keep the main thing.
Yeah.
And they got to remember, like, what it was. Because I feel like early in the year, they were just hungry. They were just dominant. They were like, I'm finna go show you. And they just got to get back to that because that's their identity, honestly. And that's when they're at their best, is when they're just being dominant. Like, it's that hunger, it's that dog, it's that drive to just simply be like, no, somebody standing in front of us that think they're better than us, we're about to go beat them.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. No, I think that's totally fair. And kind of this applies to Notre Dame, but this also applies to like a lot of different teams just kind of like around, especially kind of in the Power Four. But like, obviously Notre Dame didn't go as deep into the conference tournament as they want to. They don't make it to the ACC championship game. I mean, there's, again, you could look across.
They lose to Duke, right?
Duke, yeah.
Energy. It's always.
There you go. Energy. See? Come on now. See?
Duke energy in the whole tournament was off the charts. Like, you could just, their energy, their effort. Like, if you even break down the game against NC State from the first half to the second half, totally different energy.
Totally different.
It wasn't that, like, yes, they were hitting more shots, but it's the energy that drove it. And that's, like I said, I feel like that's what Notre Dame's missing, is the energy.
So, kind of to that point, like, obviously you don't want to lose early in the conference tournaments. Like, nobody wants to lose. But I think kind of the glass half full is, okay, maybe you get some more rest, right? And you get some more time. Like, how genuine does that help? Like, just even if it's just an extra day or two, like, is that a real thing? Because I think, like, we've kind of in the Notre Dame conversation, it's like, okay, yeah, they lost, but now they have more time to kind of get right. Like, like take a step back, breathe. Like, is that a real thing you feel like, or is that just kind of coping with the loss?
No, I don't think it's a real thing though, because before they played Duke, who did they play?
That was their first game.
Because they almost lost, right?
Yeah, hold on.
It was close,
I'm
right?
blanking now too. Hold on. You got me questioning now. Hold on. Yeah, so they had Cal. That was what it was. It was Cal.
They beat Cal handedly.
Yeah,
right?
it was ended up being a 9-point win. So like not crazy.
Yeah. I don't think so. Because I would say to that point is most of the time it's momentum when it comes to tournament play. Like, I feel like in my experience, the teams that play on that first day go into the second game with momentum because they already played. Like, they played on the court, they shot the ball. They already have that in their, like, bag. So you're fresh. You got to go out there and compete. You still sat there the day before and watched everybody because that's just what you do.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. It does get for Notre Dame though. I do think it's gonna be good for them because it gives them time. It's not rest for me. It's more so time to actually figure it out. And just focus on them. Like before selection Sunday and you're practicing and you're trying to figure things out. You don't have an opponent. You don't have anybody to face but yourself. So that's kind of the way that I would look at it. And you just have time to really we don't have to worry about doing a scout right now. We don't have to worry about who we're playing. We can literally just focus on us, what we need to do to get better. What are those things that we maybe aren't doing well right now that we were doing well before? How do we implement that? Because it's also everybody knows what you do. Everybody know who you are. It's not any secrets. You're not going to sneak up on anybody. And it's Notre Dame too. It's not like they have mystique factor of
No, everyone knows what time it is in Notre Dame.
Maybe Colorado hasn't been to the tournament in 23 years, so maybe you don't know. Whereas it's Notre Dame, dog.
You're not hiding at Notre Dame. You're not.
You're not Green Bay. Sorry.
No, you're pretty well out in the open if you're playing at Notre Dame. So sorry to you. That's the reality of it. I think one other one that I'm kind of interested in. I think really that whole side of the bracket, like Notre Dame's region, but also Texas also being in that region. That's a team that has had very long lapses in offense at times.
Yes.
And they just don't shoot the three at all. And I'm interested from you, do you feel like a team can win the national championship without shooting threes? Not even necessarily Texas. Texas is the obvious example of it from a top team. But do you feel like that's something that you see sometimes the South Carolina games where they're just overloading one side of the ball defensively and they just kind of get away with whatever. Do you feel like a team like Texas can win the national championship without having the three ball? Just even as a potential threat. You obviously don't got to be shooting 33s a game, but it's a unique problem. I feel like
I don't think the three ball is Texas' problem. I just think can Madison Booker go through a whole?
It's really that simple, yeah.
Really if she can go and her shots falling and that pull up mid range jumper is falling, good luck because that might be the most in college one of the most automatic shots that I've seen when she's hitting. Let's be clear, when she's hitting. But who cares about a three ball? if that's what I'm thinking when it comes to Texas, Madison Booker and Taylor Jones. If those two are hitting, then you don't need a three ball because, like I said, if they can put up 20 and 25 a night throughout a tournament, good luck. But if they fall on one of those games where she's not hitting and Taylor's in foul trouble, also good luck.
Yeah.
So I don't really I don't know. I've never known I actually never thought of the three ball for Texas you just put it in perspective because they just don't do it. So it's kind of you don't think about it. But they've been this successful. You don't want to change your formula right now either. That's
for sure.
You're not going to change what works. If it works, keep doing it. But again, I just feel like with Texas more so than Indian, they run that risk of not, or even like their defense not really being, because you're playing teams that you might not typically play. So it's like you're Texas and you go play, a Green Bay or South Dakota State. That's not something you're normally. That's not your normal. So communication might not be all on, or you might not know the players as well to know, okay, this is what she's going to do. She wants to go left. Like, yeah, you talk about it in scout, but remembering that on court is a whole different ball game, especially in the moment, because you're just going to fall back on you're always going to fall back on your habits. So I think with Texas, I kind of was thinking more so like Madison and Taylor. I never really thought about that 3-ball like that. Because they just don't shoot the three. So.
I mean, fair. Like, when you got to play like Madison Booker, you can you can bypass a lot of that stuff.
If she can go put up 25, then
they'll probably be all right.
Final Four Texas right there.
Yeah, I mean, fair. We were kind of talking about this before we started recording, but the importance of like matchups and like who you get in the bracket. I mean, I know like so much of like the talk, like you lead up to the bracket. Okay, this is we think that this team should be this seed, but ultimately the seedings can only do so much for you, because like you run into a team that is just your kryptonite, then it is what it is. From your perspective, like, can you expand on that, like the importance of like obviously the seeds of a seed, the teams have earned those seeds, so on and so forth, but talk about like the matchups and like how that comes into play once this bracket is released and you're kind of trying to scout ahead and whatnot.
Matchup, you always want to match up to where something don't work, you can fall back on something else you do well. And it's kind of like teams that are great 3-point shooters. If your shot's not falling, what is the backup? Are you stuck? Or are you in a position where, okay, my shot's not falling, I got playmakers, we can cut really well. Like Creighton, when they went on that run to the Elite 8, like 2
Yeah. It
was all matchups because they kept finding, if their shots wasn't falling, they were killing you cutting, because offense is just like this every it don't stop. Those girls don't stop running their stuff. Or are you in a position where, who would I say? Like Ole Miss. Ole Miss is in a position where their defense is going to travel. But in the event, your defense, you're coming across somebody that you don't really match up well against. So your offense make up for it? Matchups are really important. Honestly, but at the same time, in the same breath, I want to say they're not, because if you want it, you gonna feel it. So at the end of the day, I just feel like more than anything, it just comes to like who comes to play that day. Who comes to play that day? Who lets the crowd get into it? Who stays in the moment? Because those are also emotional moments. Like, some of these players are playing their last March Madness. Some of these players are playing with teammates that they won't have next year. Like, it's all so much. So when you looking at a team going a 10-0 run, are you freaking out? Now is everybody going individual and becoming that player? Like, I gotta make a play. I gotta bring us back. I gotta do this. It's so much mental that goes into it that at the end of the day, matchups are important. Matchups can be favorable or unfavorable, but at the same time, like, it's more of a mental, like, I just feel like it's mental.
So like what are, like, you mentioned, I think that's interesting, like the differences in, obviously, I mean, nothing compares to, I mean, the closest thing are conference tournaments, but I mean, March Madness is still obviously what everyone plays the entire year for. So like once you get into those games, like what is like the amplification of everything? Like whether it be emotions or like what are the things that maybe like as fans on the outside looking in that we might not be considering when it comes to the difference of like a March Madness game compared to, just games throughout the season and the build up to it?
I would say 2 things: emotion and execution. If you can be on the plus side of both of those, you'll probably be successful.
Yeah.
If you're on negative both of those, good luck. But emotion and execution, because whoever can keep their heads, whoever can really like settle down and just play their games and stick to the principles and the foundation that they built up into March, pretty good chance of being successful. Whoever lets it, emotions rise like this and get down or start to get inward, everybody going on individual islands, you're in trouble. Because now not only are you emotional, but now you're not executing, because now somebody's not locked into, you're worried about you missed a shot on the other end, now you're missing a defensive assignment, or because you missed a defensive assignment, somebody scored on you. Everybody, all 4 players on the court know what the play call is but you. So it's a lot, but at the same time, it's so fun. And it's just fun. It's also fun to compete for me. It's fun to compete against people you don't compete against on a night in night out basis. Like it was fun to go to Duke. I've never been to Duke. I probably wouldn't ever have been to their arena if I didn't go play there. Like you go to Duke, or you get to see like how, what's the word to use to describe Iowa? How like
I'm sure there's people in the comments like, I got a couple.
Everybody in the state is in that arena. Like it's crazy. Even for our game, and we didn't even play Iowa. We were playing Creighton, and it was still sold out. Like just to be in those environments and just see like how much women's basketball, and I guess this is on like I'm out of college now, but just looking back at it, how much it's grown and how many people look at it and support it. It's just an amazing feeling. So I think more than anything, like execution, really, it's still basketball at the end of the day. It's still basketball. So there's nothing to really overthink. It's just basketball. And it's really whoever comes out and whoever can be consistent for the next 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, no, I feel you. All right, we're about to dive in just to get a quick scan of the bracket. But I did have one more question. This is not really like player related or anything, but like how weird was it seeing USC versus UCLA for the Big Ten championship? Like, is that just like gross? Because it
wasn't weird. It was not weird at all.
Really?
For me, it was more so like, no, it wasn't weird. I guess for me, it was more so like you took 2 teams from the Pac, brought them to another conference, and they were still successful.
Yeah,
Pac-12 was the best conference in the year last year.
There you go. Keep the agenda pushing.
I'm gonna stand on that hill until I can't stand on no more. Last year, the Pac-12 was the hardest, most competitive conference in America.
Yeah. Look, and we were tapped in. You didn't have to tell us twice. We were.
And so in. It's like you can't take that away. Like that'll always. And I don't know. I've like them being in the Big Ten. Like, is it weird? Kinda. But I'm also happy they were all found success. Like I feel like everybody kind of found success in their own like way.
Yeah.
To see how it all plays out. UCLA got that get back. That's what you're supposed to do. It's also hard to beat a team 3 times in a month. Granted.
Okay, that was actually one other one I wanted to ask you about. Because like if we get because I mean technically it had to be in the Final Four, but like or even like South Carolina, Texas, right? I mean like another one that could be in the Final Four where you're playing teams for the 4th time. Like how is that a real thing? Like we hear it's like, oh, it's hard to beat a team twice or 3 times. I feel like you hear like a lot like in college football a lot, and like NFL is what you hear, and like more in football. It's like a more common saying, but you hear it in basketball too. So, like, is that a real thing? Like, where it's like it's increasingly difficult the more you play a team?
Yeah, because you just figure things out. I mean, UCLA had a hunger that they should have. They lost twice.
Yeah.
At home and at USC, to where USC is over here talking about, like, we run LA. Like, of course you're supposed to feel the type of way. Like, if you don't, I would ask questions. Like, I would be concerned.
Absolutely.
So, I do think it's hard. I do that, like, it makes for great basketball though, because now if you see UCLA versus USC, now it's more so like, okay, who's gonna win? Who wants it? Because then it becomes of who wants it more. Not like we talked about execution, but execution aside, who wants it more? Because that's what it comes to. You know them, you've played them 3 times at this point. You know what they can bring. Are you gonna have that same defensive intensity that you had the last time, but the last time you had that defensive intensity because you was tired because you got your ass beat twice. Like it's a different level. And to South Carolina and Texas is more so like, okay, like I think people really forgot that South Carolina blew them out the first time they played.
Yeah.
And so I think South Carolina had a chip on their shoulder.
I think so too. Yeah.
Once again, so now you flip it back to Texas and like, okay, like we got beat twice. They came to our house. It was a close game. It's time for our get back. Like, there's so many ways you can play that. So
yeah. I feel you.
You got you got Bree Hall saying I can guard you.
Oh,
Madison said you couldn't guard me.
I love it. Those two, and then Juju and Lauren Betts like each like throwing down like Juju throwing the fours down, Lauren Betts throwing like the fight on down.
I've never known Lauren Betts to talk trash.
I ain't never seen her act like that before. That was awesome. That was
you
so
brought that
awesome.
up out of her because I've never known Lauren.
No, that was
that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. So like, if we get some hate like that in the Final Four, you ain't gonna hear me complaining. I ain't gonna lie. You ain't gonna hear me complaining. I do want to look at this bracket. I know you haven't like filled out your full bracket and everything, but we were kind of talking before, especially like some of these matchups towards the bottom. Like, there's certain teams that you don't want to see in March Madness. So like, I'm even kind of looking at some of these lower teams, and like, I know you pointed out specific like Florida Gulf Coast and South Dakota State,
especially not Oklahoma.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Not too much.
I just don't think that Oklahoma plays the style of defense. That
I mean,
like for FGCU, I would like pressure, try to like make them rush their shots, make them rush their decision making. Listen. I'll be okay. I didn't watch Oklahoma a lot this year. Shout out to my girl Reagan though.
Yeah,
Lee Rockwell. But
friend of the show as well. We've had her on too. So
I just don't know Oklahoma to play the type of defense that I would play against FGCU. So
well, not many people are playing the defense that you're playing, Jaylyn.
Well, I'm just saying Texas press all game.
No, I feel you. No, I get what I know what you're getting at. Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah, but I would never like grow like even in college. You don't want to see FGCU. They're that dangerous team that's always consistently dangerous.
Yeah.
South Dakota State always consistently dangerous because they just shoot the ball so well and they play together. And yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. No, I feel like there's several like that I just don't want to see.
I think if Iowa State can go on a run, it can get scary because I do think they pretty much have everything they need. They just haven't been consistent this year.
Agreed.
Sophomore slumps are real. So
yeah, but if Audi and Addy, to be honest, both of them, like if they
if they can match up against if they beat Princeton tonight and then go on to beat Michigan, I'm questioning Notre Dame game not because of Notre Dame's past, just simply because of matchups. Who's going to guard her? It ain't got nothing to do with it. Who's going to guard her?
Yeah, I think
it's not a lot of teams in America that can guard her. So
facts. No, I'm with you. Yeah, we can just. I mean, again, just let me know what you're seeing. Like it's like as we kind of scroll here. Like
I don't know nothing about FDU, but I watched the championship game. I was in the Buffalo Wild Wings. And they were playing on TV, and the kid that played for them that dropped almost 40, she's the post player. She got my respect. That girl's out there cooking.
There we go. We might need to send that over. Like, let her know.
I don't know who she is. I didn't even know what their school was. I'm happy for them though, but that girl was cooking.
Shout out to FDU.
She was like 12 for 12 on the free throw line. She shot like 59% all year. I'm like, that's how you come out in the championship.
Hell yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah. I love that. Again, like I think this Creighton, like I feel like Creighton's another team you never want to see. Like they're like maybe like when it comes to the seeding, but
not. I don't know. I rode my girl down to Illinois, so I'm gonna.
That's what I mean. Again, like I was thinking like if
how good is South Florida this year? Because I know in the past they were decent.
I don't. I haven't.
Tennessee, subs every minute and a half.
How do you feel about that? That's like as a player, would that be hard to play in?
Now for me, yes, because I don't know anything, but I've never played in a system like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, you're adjusted to it. You know what it is. You know you're coming out, whatever. So I would say like being in a system like that, you will understand it.
Comfortability thing.
I don't know. I think Tennessee can be really good at times, but I also think that they could they confuse me sometimes.
That's fair. There's honestly a lot of teams like that.
But they play hard. That's one thing I say about Tennessee. She has them playing hard.
Yeah, Kim Caldwell. That's the standard, if nothing else.
Yeah, so I think for me and the type of player that I was, I appreciate that. And if you could go play hard, you can beat anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't put Tennessee. I can see Tennessee really I can
get behind that. Again, I mean that's like the Texas
Fairfield too.
Yeah, Fairfield's not playing hard.
Fairfield's good.
Yeah, no, very good. They have been like that. They've like the road runners, man, that they got going on.
Fairfield's good.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Liberty. I ain't gonna lie.
No, that's okay. Like again, I know you were talking about this like kind of NC State area over here too.
NC State, oh my gosh, bro. Like, they have everything they need to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
I just need them to be consistent with it. Like
I mean, we saw it in the ACC. Like the ACC championship game. Like the first half is like, damn,
cooking.
That looked great. And then the second half, it just all goes away.
I don't know, man, but I'm not gonna lie. James is probably one of my favorite players. Playing against her last year, and then like just seeing her, I don't know. She's one of my favorite. I am not gonna lie, because for one, she's hard to guard.
Yeah,
she's very hard to guard. She's quick. She's a lefty, hard to guard, and she plays defense. She gets down on both sides of the ball, and I just think she could be really dangerous, especially when she's hitting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Now she feels like a player. Like I'll be very interested to see where she goes in the draft, because I
would love to see her and kid from Harvard though just go at it.
Harmony Turner. Yeah.
Harmony.
We're talking about bucket getters. Like
girl drop 40.
Yeah. Like it's nothing. Speaking of players that have dropped 40, and it's okay if you have you been able to get eyes on Michaela Blakes from Vanderbilt?
Yeah. I watched her when she dropped against Auburn 50 something.
Something like she dropped 50 twice, I think, like 52 and 50. Like she broke Juju's record and then broke her own record.
As a freshman, that's insane.
Yeah, like what?
As a freshman to have the gall to do that's what I want to like give credit to. Like, yes, you come into Vandy, you everybody knows like Vandy wasn't good in the past. Like Vandy like was that team you. And it was like, yeah, we're like that. That's true. That's what they were in the past. But for her to come in as a freshman and do what she does and have the gall and just the confidence to do it as a freshman, these volumes, because you don't really like most freshmen come in, try to fit in, and the fact that her teammates and coaching staff have instilled that confidence and greenlighted it, go drop 60, girl.
Yeah. No, that's like those are the type of players I'm very interested in seeing in this, where it's like there's some true like superstar caliber players on like lower seeded teams that could just like if they just have an insane game that we know they're capable of, like a Harmony, like a Michaela, like they could carry you, like and there could just be nothing the other team can even do about it, no matter like what team that is, because that's just like the caliber of players right now.
Diamond,
absolutely, with Maryland, like there's a lot, like there's, I mean, you were kind of talking about it earlier, but like even from like your freshman year to now, like the way that the tournament has opened up, like when it comes to
it's crazy. Like you really can't just write people off. You can't just be like, oh no, they're the higher seeds cooked. Like I feel like Crane showed that to everybody 2-3 years ago. Like now granted they ran into South Carolina, which
that happens, you know. What are you gonna do?
But other than that, like they went into a hostile environment, beat Iowa at Iowa. Hard place to play, hard place to win. It doesn't matter. It's just like you gotta, when you stick to your principles and you execute and follow through, like it's really nothing like it's nothing you can really, I don't know. There's nothing you can really do with that when a team is just speaking like that. So
all right. Well,
I don't know. I'm gonna shout out Southern though.
There you go. Look, they're playing tonight.
It is nobody on Southern that can guard Lauren Betts. But I gotta go with my dog DK. She's a point guard at Southern. We play high school basketball together.
There you go.
She won the conference championship. And if they go upset, please come find me because I'm acting.
Well, you could come back on.
I'm
back on. I'll send the link. If it happens, I'll send the link. I know.
Guarantee.
You know, like
come find me.
You can come be back on. Okay. We're at the end. So obviously. I'll ask you this: is there a team that you're rooting for? Obviously, Colorado, not but like, is there a team you're rooting for, and who do you think is gonna win? That's how we can split it up. And it might be the same team, but is there a difference here?
I don't know. My
team don't have to root for
anybody, so I don't really care. I feel you. And the Pac-12. Hatred in me just won't.
I was about to say, like, you know, some people talk like conference solidarity where you cheer for your people in your conference.
No,
I can't. I don't have that in me. I don't have that in me. I don't know how people do that. So who do you think is gonna win then?
I think South Carolina is gonna pull it out
Mm.
simply because if they can stay consistent. I think from A to B to like through,
Yeah.
they have a full complete team that if they can play together. And I also think they have the pieces. Like if one player's not playing well, they can come bring this. Like they don't depend. So they're not even like. It's crazy to say it, but I don't even think they have like that true star.
No, they're a system. Like it's a complete.
And
like,
I think for
system.
the first, like they've always been a system, but this is the first time they're truly a system. Like
Yeah, agreed.
Like truly through and through. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with South Carolina. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't be mad if Duke won.
Okay.
I like those kids. They play hard.
Mm.
They play hard, and I just like I don't know. I like the energy they play with, especially what's her name? She was a freshman last year.
Oh, let's
She
pull it
came.
up.
She's the reason they won the championship game. She came in off the bench. I think. I don't know.
Is Jaden Donovan? There's Jaden Donovan.
No.
There's is it Okinawa? You're talking about the one?
I think so. That girl plays with a burst of energy that I ain't never seen.
That's who came off the bench in the
that girl played with a burst of energy that I ain't never seen before,
tough.
and I'm not mad at you, girl.
Yeah,
because like she plays with that energy that almost is like you have to tailor it to the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, go get your rebounds, go get your old boards, put it back up, and then go play defense. You all right with me, sister?
That's what I'm saying. It's interesting. You keep. It's almost like you're a high energy defensive player. The teams you keep complimenting. It's crazy how that works.
I wouldn't be mad. I'm just saying.
I bet you wouldn't.
I would sit here. I don't think I've like even know nobody that go do for it. Yeah, no. Lexi went to Duke, and E Will went to Duke. But other than that, I don't really. But they just play hard. I don't know. I can't. That's my DNA. Like if you play hard, you all right with me. Like
there you go. Well, Jaylyn, we appreciate you as always coming on. It's always an open door. You're always welcome. Again, congratulations on all the success you've been having through the regular season, the postseason, into the off season, even with your league and everything. So congratulations. Always an open door, and we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
All right. Well, make sure you guys stay tapped in here with us for No Cap Space because we got you covered throughout the entire tournament, lives every single night for the entire tournament. So it's gonna be a grind.
Live.
Jaylyn, hey, say the word.
All right.
Say the word. We'll be talking, Jaylyn. So make sure you're subscribed to see if Jaylyn comes on the live or not. Get subscribed. Get notified every time I go live. NoCapSpaceWBB.com as well. Go check that out. And of course, our home field collection. Every piece of women's basketball merch on home field. Use code NOCAP15 to get 15% off. And we'll see you next time.